Welcome to season 3 of No Shelf Control, the podcast with books, booze, and banter, hosted by authors for readers, because let's face it, we're all bookworms at heart.
This season, we're reading and discussing indie books. We're not reading indie anyway. Ignore me. And we couldn't be more excited to be spreading the word about other independent authors like ourselves. I'm Lindsey Sparks.
And I'm Lindsey Pogue. Grab a beverage, kick back, and enjoy the show. I don't know why I always say that like I'm a robot, but anyways.
Yeah, that was very robotic.
Welcome to this episode of the podcast. I believe this is episode 5 of season 3.
Yes.
Could be wrong.
No, you're right.
We are back with another Fae story. But don't worry, everybody who is tired of Fae stories. The next one, we're switching it up a bit. So yeah, this is the last one for a little bit. But anyways, so tonight we're going to be chatting about CN Crawford's Dark King, book 1 in the Sea Fae series. So
I think we might not have any Fae. There's one that could. I don't think we have any Fae coming up for.
I don't either, which I'm fine.
Pretty
with. I mean, whatever. But I feel like we're going down this path of Fae. So I'm
I know.
Glad that
it's
we're
just.
It up.
I think that's part of the problem, though, is that like so many of the fantasy, romance, romantasy, whatever that genre that we like is Fae related, or even a lot of historical fantasy, or it's just like
yeah. So anyways, but yeah, we're switching it up. In fact, the next episode we'll talk more about it later, but I think it might be one that people who like the ending series and the Savage Heart Chronicles will really enjoy. So so we'll talk more about that later. But how are you doing on this fine Wednesday evening I'll just say on the west coast of the United States of the America?
It was very extended. Good. It's been hot. So I took a cool shower right before, so I had the delightfully wet hair. But it's always funny when you like are showering and you can feel the heat coming off of your hair and your head.
Yeah.
Because when you're taking, a cool shower.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. Our temperatures are down, but the UV index is so high that it doesn't matter. So I've been having to make sure I'm getting my walks in no later than around 10, because even then, and it sucks because I live in the valley, right? Napa Valley. And so if there's fog pretty much until 11, and it's always windy here. So I really prefer walking in the sun, but the rays are so crazy that I'm having to get my walks in by like 10, because otherwise it's pretty brutal. So anyways, our temperatures are down, but our rays are up.
Interesting.
So, but anyway, and I think our time is running out on these longer days, which kind of sucks too.
Yeah.
So that's lame. I like the long days. Obviously, I know a lot of people do. But anyway, so what are you drinking tonight?
Water. That's it.
I actually just got back from a long walk, so I also only have ice water tonight. Sorry, I couldn't muster. It just felt wrong after a long walk to sit there and be like, I'm gonna drink some booze.
No, I get it.
It's funny. Anyway, what else you got going on? What were you working on today?
I've been doing a ton of like graphic design, artsy stuff.
Feeding the creative soul.
Yeah, feeding the creative soul. I have all my stickers for the upcoming Kickstarter ordered, not just designed, but ordered. So I'm very excited about that. I did the family tree for inside of the books, like it's one of the charts, the extra bonus goodies that's in there. And it was really fun because I did it based off of an actual ancient Egyptian picture of a tree.
That's cool.
Yeah. So I'm excited about that. So just a bunch of like fun stuff.
Yeah, it doesn't happen very often, but I like finding those little pockets of creativity where you can like just do something a little different and it's fun. Well, I guess it does. I like doing graphics and stuff, so I guess it does. But in general, like, it's nice to be able to incorporate that in our daily stuff when we can.
I also did like some like social media scheduling and stuff.
Ooh, titillating.
Ooh. And some like really exciting email automation stuff. So
Nice.
that was sarcasm. Email automation does not excite me.
Right?
It's so tedious.
Yeah.
It's updating them, and it's just like, oh, and you have to like go in and update the like stuff like in the emails and like the footer. I don't know.
Yeah, no. Well, I know. But yeah.
Anyway, how about you?
I mentioned to you, I've been really thinking about these author services that I'm putting together.
Mm-hmm.
And for listeners, it's just a quick why is, over the years, I've had a lot of readers who actually are writers and aspiring authors ask me for help and just some guidance. And I really enjoy doing that. And I just figure now it's kind of time. Like I've been doing this for a while and I have the expertise to be able to help other people craft the beginning of a story and find, try and help keep them accountable or whatever they might need, looking at the story development and stuff. So I'm really excited about that. But yeah, so I've just been thinking about that a lot, what I want to do. And I just wrapped up, remember how I used to do those huge Facebook giveaways that were like,
Yes.
yeah, like really fun for me, but very intensive as far as time goes.
Very draining.
Yeah. Well, I didn't do one that big, but I just did one, a decent sized one that I haven't done a real like giveaway event in a while. And so it was fun. I got that up. That was all last week. And so that kind of came to a close this week. And so I'm getting all the goodies out to folks and stuff. So that's kind of fun because I don't, like I said, I used to do the big stuff and I enjoy it, but it's just so time consuming that I'm not able to do it as much anymore. And I have readers on different platforms. So it's a lot harder to do like big giveaways, So
what platform did you do it on?
I did it on Facebook for it specifically in my reader group. And then I announced it in my newsletter and everything, but I always do a monthly one in my newsletter anyway. So, yeah, actually, when this is live, if you are one of my subscribers, make sure you guys looked at your newsletter because this month's giveaway is really cool in the newsletter because it's one of my readers. Her name's Amanda. She's amazing. And she made these wooden bookmarks inspired by the Savage North Chronicles, and she like engraved them and stuff. And so she sent me a few, and so I'm only giving away one, but she
do you
said
have any you can hold up for the video?
I do actually. But anyway, she said that I could give some away, so I was like, this is so fun. So like here's one that she made, has the wolves.
Oh, it's so pretty.
What do you call it? It's not engraved, it's like burnt in there. What is that
I
called?
don't
Yeah.
know.
Anyway, so there's one, and then here's one that's really cool. It has the bear paw, but the bear in the paw.
Like branded? Is that
I guess it's like etched with, it's like burned and etched in. I don't know. It's really cool though.
etched
and
with
then
heat.
Here's another different size one, but
Oh, they're
yeah,
so
she did. They're really fun. And yeah, so anyways, I'm getting one of those away this month. And yeah, so I don't know, just all the there's a gazillion things, but those are kind of the bigger fun things that I got going on. So, and I've been doing a lot of listening to a lot of audiobooks. What have you been doing as far as reading goes?
Oh, I am on book 3 of the Savage Lands series.
Oh, good.
Which I had to pause in the middle of to read our book for this time. But now I'm back to it, so that's been fun. I think that's the only thing I'm reading because most of my time, my downtime has been I've been on my tablet doing art. So
yeah, no, that makes sense.
Although I have been listening to books when I'm like, if I'm doing it during my morning work time, I've been listening to a book while I do it. So that's nice.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
I find it very rare that I get to listen to a book and just like do something mindless. And usually I'm
not like admin or dishes or
yeah, it's like I don't know actually know if
it's been very relaxing.
Yeah, that sounds
relaxing. I was talking to my husband about it last night. I was like, I am really enjoying what I'm working on right now. Just like doing the art stuff because it is a different part of my creative brain, and it doesn't feel like work.
Yeah. 100%.
I love writing and creating stories, but that's like the work. And the art, which is technically part of my work, like it's going into books that I'm going to be selling, or stickers that are going to be sold with books. But it just feels different. I don't know.
The last time I think I was able to listen to a book like that and just like really just do nothing and just listen. I don't remember what book it was, but I remember it's those moments before bed where I put in my earbuds, because I don't put my earbuds in when I get in bed, but I'm not quite ready for bed, so I'll put it in and I'll listen and I'll play just like mindless mahjong. And that's the only time I ever play mahjong, really. I'm realizing is when I want something mindless to do while I'm listening to an audiobook. It's like the best feeling in the world.
Can you, I cannot do nothing and listen to an audiobook. Like I have to be doing something.
Yeah, like what do? You just lay there to stare at
I know.
Like I don't know. Yeah, I have to do something
like,
too.
Be moving or going for a walk, or
right.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like I can be like out in the backyard with the kids, that's fine. Like that's enough of doing something.
Yeah.
But I can't just be like sitting there or laying there, just like not.
Yeah. Well, and then my walking, I do my 1.5 hour walks every day, but those I'm always listening to podcasts or, like personal development stuff. So, but anyway, but I am listening to, I'm listening to Midnight Sun for this month's pick for my, reader book club in my Discord group. And then I am also listening to, I started book 2, but I had to pause it because I had to just read a book club book for my actual book club, like with people like who are physically next to me waiting for me to report on a book whether I liked it or not. That one was a rough one and it was really long, so it took up a lot of my time. And then so I'm not even gonna go into what that one was, but so Midnight Sun's on hold. I forget, Wildlands, is that what the second one's called in the Savage Lands?
Yeah, because I'm on Deadlands.
Okay, yeah. So I'm only maybe a quarter of the way through of that, but I started that one, and then right now I am listening to a girl called Samson by Amy Harmon, and everybody's raving about it, and Amy Harmon's one of my favorite characters, or authors. So I'm hopeful. I'm enjoying it so far, but it was one of those ones where my grandma, it was so cute, Lindsey, she calls me, and so everyone, my grandma is like 84 maybe, and she's one of those people where she can't see to just read anymore on her Kindle, but she listens and reads at the same time. So like that's how she does it. And she called me and she's like, oh my word, she's very religious, so she's very proper. Have you ever heard of this author? Her name is Amy Harmon. And I was just trying not to giggle because of course she's one of my favorite authors. She goes, I just read this book. She goes, I was crying, Lindsey. It was so good. You have to read it. And it's already on my list to read, right? Because she's one of my favorite authors. And it was so funny. She's, and you have to read the audiobook because it's amazing. And I was like, you got it, Grandma. It's on my list. I'm gonna read. Just let me know how you like it. And I was like, I will. I'll call you when I'm done. So now I'm reading that one so that I can call her.
That's adorable.
And it's pretty cute. But we don't usually have the same taste in books, so this is kind of a fun one, but anyway, yeah, so I'm listening to a lot of things, but I've also had a lot of time to listen to things, so I'm excited to talk. No, I wouldn't say like ecstatic, but I read this book, the one we're gonna be talking about, I'm not gonna lie, like 2 books ago, so I'm gonna try and be as like I took notes, but that doesn't mean anything in my brain. But anyway, so I'm gonna try and be as on it as I can, but I'm anxious to hear what you think about this book. So anyways, anything else we want to check in about before we get started?
I don't think so. Nothing comes to mind.
Okay. So I'm going to read a little bit about this book, the blurb for everybody, but spoilers up ahead. All right. And once again, we're going to be talking about CN Crawford's Dark King, book 1 of the Sea Fae series. Okay. A snarky fae, a sexy king, and forbidden desire deep as the ocean. Once I was a fae princess with sea magic at my fingertips. Now I'm a hunted supernatural in the squalid shop, stripped of my power. My only comforts are stale cookies, Elvis records, and my hula hoop. Until a lethally sexy fae king arrives and rips even those away. After the brutal king throws me in prison, I strike a bargain with him. My freedom in exchange for helping him find a magic blade. What Lear, I think is his name, right? That's how you say it, doesn't know is that the blade might restore my stolen magic. But as we journey, the gorgeous jerk is starting to make me feel things I've never felt. When Lear touches me, desire ignites. I see raging passion in his eyes too. If I give in, I risk losing my chance at reclaiming my power. Even worse, I could be forfeiting my life. All right. First of all, have you ever read one of the, I'm assuming it's a she, but I could totally be wrong.
CN Crawford. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I feel like there were some covers that had looked familiar. So I think she's the one that did Frost, right? That big, that one that's super popular.
Yeah.
That I haven't read because it's, oh yeah. Anyway. Okay. So again, spoilers, everybody. So make sure that you, yeah. Look away. Look away.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm assuming you listen. Well, because you do have a paperback or hardcover.
I have a special edition hardcover. But I listened.
Okay. And what did you think of the narration?
I enjoyed the narration. I wouldn't say it was like one of my favorites, narration wise.
Mm-hmm.
I think I didn't love the way she did the male voices, maybe.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
And can I just say, every time I didn't know what the main character's voice or name was. So the way she said
Anor,
yeah. And to me, I would have said Anor just to make
not
it
have the
less jarring. Yeah. She was like, Anor. And I was like, what the heck? So I had to actually go look it up to like see how it was spelled. It was driving me crazy.
That actually would have helped me. I had not seen how it was spelled. And I was like, this is just... It was a jarring name. And then Lear, I saw as Leer, like King Lear.
Mm-hmm.
And I had not seen it spelled until.
And now it looks like lyre, like a instrument.
Like exactly. That's now what I was like. It would have.
That's why I was like, wait, am I saying it right? Yeah.
No, it would have changed how I heard it if I had seen the shape of the names beforehand.
Interesting.
Yeah. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, I can see that. I'm a visual person, so I guess I can see that. So,
however, Anor is still. I can't get over the Ain.
Yeah, well, like I said, it's just when you're just starting out, especially because you don't. Not only, I mean, we're going to talk about this, but there's a lot going on in the beginning, and then that name keeps coming out of nowhere, and I'm like, wait, what? Oh, that's her name. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I was wondering, I had intended to look it up, but I did not. I was wondering if Anor is an actual like
mythology.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe.
And same with Lear. Lyr.
Yeah. Excuse me while I yawn. I'm so sorry. Okay. I was like trying to do a video the other day and I kept sneezing. I'm like, great, this is just not working out well. Okay, so did you, because I believe this is one that you put on the list, so I'm wondering, did you know anything about this book, or what made you decide you wanted to check this one out?
No, I didn't, other than the fact that I had it, and
okay.
It was a pretty cover.
Okay, no, I was just curious.
I knew it was Fae, but I was like, oh, the like guy, it looks like he's underwater, so maybe it's more like mer people. It was not mer people.
Yeah. No, I was just curious because I knew nothing. Like I said, I didn't even look at the blurb until I was trying to figure out what her name was, so I had no idea what it was either, so I was just curious. Yeah, and I had no expectations, I guess, other than I also thought it would be underwater or something because there is a man underwater on the cover.
Yeah, I was like, maybe this will be kind of like Atlantis-y, or I don't know. I don't know why I was hoping for some mer people. I'm not like a big mer people person, but
well, then maybe we should just kind of talk about the setting a little bit then, because even the title is what is it, Sea Fae or whatever. And
Court of the Sea Fae. Yeah.
So it's funny that you say that because on the thing it just says Sea Fae.
Really?
It doesn't matter. Yeah, it doesn't matter. But my whole thing is like based on the cover and based on even the blurb, the Sea King or whatever, I'm sitting there going, I don't think any of it takes place underwater. Like it's all ancient history. And I get that maybe in the future it might, but it's kind of misleading.
Yeah, I mean the sea, I guess the sea connection comes from Aenor's
past.
From her
her past.
Her powers that she lost were like over the sea.
In her kingdom that crumbled to nothing. It
was the drowned kingdom.
Yeah. What did you I guess I must have missed it. I don't know why. Like there were a lot of clues. Maybe it's because I was stuck on I thought it would be more like otherworldly, but I kept forgetting it was like takes place like it was like in my neighborhood. You know what I mean? Like
I would say it was urban fantasy.
Yeah.
More than like fantasy romance. Like I wouldn't even put it as paranormal romance. I would put it more as like urban fantasy.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because I mean, it's all modern day. They're driving cars. Like
it's Earth. It's
Earth. There's humans. Her best friend is human. Yeah. There's like it shows people watching television. Like I kept forgetting it was modern day until like somebody would be watching television or someone would be or they'd be driving a car. And I'm like, oh yeah. Even though there's all these like crazy like magic things going on in nights and all this stuff, I'm like, oh yeah, it's modern day. And that was hard for me to get into the groove of that. But I
did like that. I mean, urban fantasy is probably my favorite genre.
Yeah.
So I like the fantasy. I love the idea. The thing that really appeals to me is the idea that there's like a magical world hidden, you know, amongst our own world. That's, you know, that it could really be there. So that's really fun.
Yeah. No, I mean, we all want to be Beauty and meet the Beast, right? So what did you think about the very beginning? Like the opening scene is essentially somebody coming to kidnap / kill her, and her and her human friend are trying to hide from them.
I thought there were a lot of things, so it was very exciting. There were a lot of things that were, I felt like, kind of jarring choices, like for the setting of the opening scene, that like there's choices you can make that are what people will just, the majority of people will just, their minds will go there anyway. So you can kind of like they'll fill in the blanks and stuff. But like so she was like in her shop. And then I was like, wait, her shop is underground in a sewer or something? Like,
yeah, you have
I was
like
very, and that like caused a huge adjustment for me in my head of like what I was picturing for the setting versus what the setting actually was. So there were things like that. And then another thing that I felt like was a little bit jarring from the opening versus like what was revealed in the subsequent scenes was like Aenor's experience, I guess. Like she's being attacked by these Fae Knights, and at first I was like, okay, so she's just like some minor something, or you know, like non-powerful person. But and yes, most of her power has been taken away, but she is like over a century old. She's seems to know way more curses and stuff than she let on in that first scene. And so I felt, I don't know, I felt like it was not, that first scene didn't necessarily line up with like the rest of her character later on.
Yeah, I can see that.
Or like was misleading because she's like a princess. She's,
she actually does use a lot of magic, but it's all, what'd she say, illegal or?
Yeah. And
what is it? What'd she say? Not illegal. It's called.
Well, I don't know, but she was like Gina, her human companion, was like, do some magic. Can't you do some magic? She's like, I don't know. And like all she could come up with was like a spell that like scrambled some words or something. But then later she's got like all these attack spells and stuff that she knows. And so I was like, well, those could have come in handy. Or her like ability to call in, even though she doesn't have most of her magic over the sea, she could still call in like a can't see through it, split pea or pea soup fog, you know, so like that could have helped her get away. Like, I don't know, I was like, thinking back to that opening scene, I was like, it felt inconsistent with
The
what was
rest of
revealed
it,
about
yeah.
her later. So, but it was still a very exciting opening scene.
Yeah, you were like dropped right in the
I
action.
know.
I
It was
"Whoa."
like the textbook, like, you know, like you want to start in the middle of like a fight or something, that advice that they give you, like you have to make it exciting right off the bat.
Well, and I think what helped to make it interesting is her friend. I really like her quirky human friend is fun, like the way that they interact with each other. So that was a good counterbalance or balance, I guess. So speaking of her, I guess, and I don't remember her name, but
Gina?
yeah. Okay. There were a lot of quirky characters in this, even the fellow knights, the guys who were with Lear. There were a lot of
God, I wanted to punch them.
I know. So I wanted to get your opinion on them. And because they definitely, like, they were kind of fun to listen to, but yeah, they seemed a little dense and annoying.
There was that scene when they were like filling her in on the story that they had heard about what had happened to her kingdom, and basically the whole Fae world apparently believes that she killed her mom and drowned her kingdom because she was drunk and a whore, and she would like had all the
so
anyway
stupid.
And so the guy's like telling her the story of what she did apparently, and she's just like, what the F?
This is what you guys believe? Like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, and they're like, yeah, that's what happened. That's what happened. And she's like,
I was there, and that's not what happened.
That's not what happened, and I am not a whore. And yes, maybe I was drunk a lot, but like,
so I also thought it was interesting. They're sitting there giving her so much crap for killing the knight in the very beginning,
and being a whore,
trying to kill her,
or not a whore, but a slut.
The one who came into her shop.
Sorry.
The one that she killed. No. The one that she killed. And they were all pissed off at her. And she's like, he tried to kill me. He straight up said in his letter that he was going to gut me or whatever the hell it was. Well. Yeah, and I'm just like, yeah, they're pretty.
Yeah,
silly.
it was like, there was definitely a lot where I was like, oh my God, like I feel her pain right now. And like just the like, I don't know how they told her about her supposed past.
Yeah.
Like so frustrating.
Yeah.
She's like, she even in, I think in the first scene, or maybe it's like, I don't know. It's very early on. She talks about how like, she's never really been that interested in men or sex or anything like that. And so I think that was why it was like especially frustrating for her when they're talking about how she was just this like extremely lusty lady with all these lovers who she would like accidentally kill. Because she would get too into like whatever she was doing.
It's so stupid.
She's just like,
I guess they were a good counter, or I'm gonna do this. I don't even know if counteraction, counterbalance. They were a good balance though, whatever. I don't know what word I'm trying to say, but to Lear, because he's so broody and quiet all the time and he doesn't say a lot. And so nothing else, it added a little dimension to those scenes when they were all just kind of shut up together for a while. Like I said, I really did like her friend. I wish she was in it a little bit more. She's only in it in the very beginning, her human that she cares so much about, because I think she also brought out a really soft, like human side, or at least an empathetic side to Anor. So Anor. I can't. But yeah, so I wish she was in it a little bit more because she was fun. I did really like her character. What did you think about our main characters? Anor. We'll start with Anor.
I mean, other than the like kind of like what I felt like was a little bit of a shift in terms of what we were initially led to believe about her, and then what was revealed later about her. So I don't even know if that qualifies as unreliable narrator or just it's very selective choice of what information was given to us. But the Lear also I found extremely frustrating. Like, so this is the thing that really frustrated me about him. besides the fact that he just would like keep all these secrets and stuff. But
Yeah, that was hard.
that
The
he
secrets.
believed that she was innocent and hadn't drowned her kingdom, and like the rumors were all wrong until he went and saw her ripping out or cutting out like a human's heart in like a dark alleyway or something. This is the same guy who has like prisoners and victims executed and strung up and hung from his walls of his fortress. So he is judging her.
He's a hypocrite.
That was the thing that made him believe that she had drowned her kingdom. It's him seeing that one thing, not knowing why she was doing it, or that it was freaking Jack the Ripper.
Right?
Like,
she's like, his name wasn't even really Jack. She even like went into a little history lesson about it.
Yeah, I think his name was Sam, she said.
Yeah.
But I was like, so I don't know. It just like that really, I was like, you are so fickle.
Yeah. It's like kind of a little, hypocritical in a way or whatever.
Yeah, like all the stuff that he does and like this one thing. I don't know. Anyway, so that bothered me about him. However, I still liked him.
Yeah, I like the way that Aenor was written. I think that she's snarky and fun and different. I think she had like a different flair than a lot of heroines do, which I enjoyed. And as far as he goes, him essentially dodging every time she had a question for him. I wish she would have pushed him more but I get that, the story, there were reasons for it in the story, just because he had so many secrets. It's like, I don't think I could have gone on that long with just like letting someone interrupt or whatever, and I don't know. I think I would have really liked, I feel like the story felt rushed a little bit because I would have really liked to have more tension and more like relationship building between them, only because I know that they're
beyond the lusty part.
Yeah, because I don't know, like it just, to me, it would make me invested more in it. And they're very topical characters. Otherwise, it's hard for me to get behind the romantic, like the forbidden love. Like, why are they forbidden? Like, I don't understand that either.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know. There's just some things about it I think could have been like turned up a notch. And I'm not saying like more sexy. I'm saying like just like the tension between them could have been played up a little more
emotion
or something. Yeah. Because I feel like he did go from like completely cold to like little flares here and there. And then all of a sudden he was just in love with her and they were like, he was obsessed and he would die for her. Like I felt like there was just a huge jump.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. But they were a good
balance counter. Aenor, are you getting stuck on Aenor?
No, the counterbalance thing. I don't know what's wrong with my brain. Anyway, they were really good. They were complimentary, so I really like that.
Yeah.
Okay, what did you think about the twist? Because there were a couple of them.
Oh yeah, so I did not see it coming. Like
which one? So let's start with one of his secrets about her mother.
That he resurrected her mom.
Yeah. So just to let people know, again, remember the rumor is that she killed her mom, that she ruined, like her entire kingdom crumbled, that she's a whore and a drunk. Okay. So, and this is something she's lived with for how many eons or whatever, 1,000 years or whatever.
I think she's just like, it's maybe a century or two.
Oh, okay. So anyway, so her mom's been gone, and then, Lear shows up and he has all these secrets. And one of them, the big ones, was about her mother, and that he had resurrected her from the dead.
Well, because she kept trying to figure out why he was cursed. So he's got this like curse with this. What is the thing called? It's like
we're going to call it a blade because I don't actually know.
No, I mean his like dark god shifter thing.
Oh. Is that dude the pendant? No, I can't remember.
Well, there's another name that he.
Yeah, I don't remember.
He shifts into this godly form that's apparently like terrifying to people, but she thinks it's hot. And
obviously,
and it's described as hot. So I'm like, don't know what's so terrifying about it, but to other people. But he doesn't, he's like, doesn't have a ton of control over it, which he says he lost control over it when he was cursed for doing something bad, this bad thing that he did that like disrupted the balance of nature or something like that.
Yeah.
But he like is really secretive about what that bad thing is. And she's like, well, what did you do? Like, what did you do? And he's like, oh, I'm not going to tell you that. So then it like turns out that the thing that he did was resurrect her mom. But he actually kind of has a good reason for not telling her, which is that he then unresurrected her like a half hour later because she was like all demented and like super evil when she came back from the dead. So, but she like, when Aenor learns about it, she learns about it from this other dude who I'm thinking is going to be part of a love triangle later.
Yeah, I was wondering that too.
Well, the second book, he's on the cover of my edition, my special edition of it. So I'm like, okay, I feel like there's going to be some sort of tension happening. But he's the one who like actually stole her power and cut off her mom's head and drowned her kingdom. And he's the one who told her that her mom was resurrected, but he didn't tell her that it was so short-lived and that kind of thing. So it's that twist, that was like a double twist. Like first she finds out that her mom was resurrected, so she believes that her mom is still alive. And then she finds out when she finally confronts Lear about it, that her mom was only resurrected. It was a very long time ago. And it was gone. And she's gone. So that was like twist. So, yeah. And then it like untwists. And she finds out that her mom is alive. And even Lear didn't know. And she's super evil.
Yep.
That I did not see coming.
The mom, so I knew for the first twist for him, I knew whatever his secret was, he had something to do with the mom. I kind of thought maybe they were lovers at some point.
Yeah, I was like, were they involved?
Yeah, I was trying to figure out what that was. But yeah, I did not see it coming that her mom was alive, because this is like a huge spoiler, because this is like she's the one who's pulling the strings and all the horrible things happening through the whole book. So so she's horrible and blah blah blah. So
she is really horrible. Like the things she says to Aenor are like terrible.
Yeah. So
I felt really bad for her.
Yeah. Yeah, she's definitely not gonna win Mom of the Year.
No, and then
or Century.
And then Aenor kills her. So again. I mean, she didn't kill her the first time, but she did this time.
Yeah.
So
yeah, so anyways, I was just curious if you saw any of those coming.
No, I didn't see. I was like, oh, snap. Like the mom is resurrected. And then I didn't see that. I was like, that was not cool of him not to tell her, you know? And then I did not predict that he didn't tell her for like a good reason, which was, it didn't really matter.
I failed. So
yeah. And then she was actually, and then it was her. I was like, wait, is this? So like when Aenor was like going into the cave because she heard her mom singing, at the very end when it's revealed that she is resurrected and alive and is the evil person doing all the stuff, I thought it was like maybe the other guy like pretending to be her, or I was like, is it the Winter Witch or whatever the prophetess lady?
Yeah, the one who spoke gibberish or whatever.
Yeah. It's like, is that her pretending to be the mom? I was like, it took me a while to believe that it was actually the mom.
Yeah.
I kept thinking there was going to be something.
It was like
revealed.
An illusion or something.
Yes, exactly. Or maybe it was like Melisande or something. Like, I don't know. I was very confused.
Yeah, no, it was the mom. So and
the twist, horrible. The triple twist fooled me each time.
Yep. Yeah, she did a good job about that.
Yeah.
Well, she's a really big author. I'm interested to know, to kind of look at the descriptions of some of her other books. Do you think you're going to finish the series, or what do you?
It's only a trilogy, I think, and they're not long. So I think I might. I want to see what's going to happen if I'm right about this whole love triangle situation. I mean, the other guy, whose name I can't remember, but he cracks me up because he's like, I am so evil.
Yeah, he's like very cocky and full of himself.
Yeah, and he like embraces his evilness. It's like, yeah, I did it. I'm bad.
It's like Hades from Hercules, the cartoon
Yeah.
version. It's like very like nonchalant about
Yeah.
it. I kill millions of people. It's no big deal.
Yeah. So I'm curious to see if it does become a love triangle and how exactly that works.
Yeah.
Because he did kill her mom back when her mom was like maybe a little unhinged, but not like evil.
Right. And her dad was super horrible too, right?
Yeah. And I actually, for a while, I was like, is this her dad?
Yeah, I know. I was kind of like, how is he going to come back in this story?
Yeah.
Or is he? But I guess
But
bringing
apparently her
mom back is
mom,
enough
yeah, because her mom apparently murdered him
because he was so
in
horrible.
her wedding dress that she continued to wear for a very long time. I was like, wow, what an image. So it was definitely entertaining.
Yeah, there's a lot like I said, it's kind of fast paced. It felt kind of rushed to me, but I also didn't mind it because there was some good action and it kept the story going. Because I can see how it could feel drawn out, but I just wish there was just a little bit more between the two main characters, especially if you're right and we're going into book 2. I probably won't continue listening, but if we go into book 2 and there is some sort of a love triangle, I don't really feel like I can really get behind like rooting for Lear 100% anyway, because I'm like kind of indifferent about the relationship. So
yeah,
I don't know. Well, you'll have to tell us.
Yeah, if I do, I will.
All right. Anything else about this book?
I do kind of wonder, I almost would be tempted to like try to read the physical version of the second book, just because I feel like, because I didn't love the way she did the male voices, I even her intonation and stuff, I almost wonder if I would perceive, or maybe we both would have perceived Lear differently
I
if we
thought that too.
had read it with our eyeballs.
Yeah, that's a good.
Yeah,
good question.
I don't know, something about the way she voiced him, it was just very aloof or distant.
I guess that's
I don't know.
yeah, it was very I feel like might be a good word to describe it, because and you said intonation, I was thinking that word before too, because he doesn't, it always kind of sounds the same. It doesn't matter if he's excited or if he's angry,
indifferent. He just seemed kind of indifferent. Yeah, so I would be curious about that. And I really enjoyed her narration. I enjoyed her voice for the main character.
Yeah, she did a good
job. And for Gina.
I guess
for
these
the
are all the
knights.
risks. Oh, yeah, those are really good.
Yeah.
I guess these are all the risks we take when we do produce audiobooks, right? I mean, yeah. I bet you he probably is perfect for the way she is, or Lear is in the author's mind, you know? So it's hard to like hold it against them for picking them and stuff. So, but yeah, I think the narrator did a good job too. So. All right. Well, you'll have to keep us posted on the other books.
Yeah, I won't continue. It's going to be a little bit because I want to finish Savage Lands first.
Yeah, I'm excited to jump back into that one. I honestly probably need to restart it because I feel like that was like 5 books ago now, and I'm a little rough on.
Well, I was a little worried when I restarted. I was like, I hope I have any idea what's going on. But I was like in the middle of an action scene too. And I was like, oh, okay. I know where we are.
Cool. All right. Well, I guess that's it for this show. Thanks everybody for listening. And don't forget to check out the show notes for this episode. We'll have the links and our book recs. And again, as I mentioned earlier, next episode, we're going to be talking about Desolation, Power's Legacy. It's, by Starr Davies, and she's a dystopian post-apoc author, sci-fi fantasy, kind of like the Savage North Chronicles and the Ending series. So I am excited to read that one, and we will be listening to the audiobook as well.
I feel like we've had really good luck with our dystopian
the books we've been reading
lately. So I'm excited.
I'm excited too. And she has some really cool character art too that I've seen her posting on her Instagram and stuff. If you want to check it out,
I will stalk her.
Yeah. Well, in the meantime, everyone, if you enjoy the show, please leave us a review wherever you listen, and be sure to join us on Discord, where we hang out these days.
We do.
We have a special channel, each of us, for the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Though I'm going to be honest, I neglect it. God, I'm so bad at it. Okay, that's a Lindsey problem. Until next time, everyone, happy reading and happy listening adventures. We will talk to you soon.
Happy reading.